I got my boom plays, sleepers, and streamer for Week 17, the Big Dance Championship Week, coming at you right now. Now, first up, if you have Bryce Young on your bench, you need to put him in starting lineups. We're looking for the highest ceilings. Last time he faced the Bucs, he put up 20-plus fantasy points, almost 300 yards passing, and honestly, the Carolina Reaper has been on a tear since he became the starter. Since Week 8, he's had at least one passing touchdown in all his starts, and honestly, that has not been done since Cam Newton in 2018 for the Carolina Panthers. So therefore, with Bryce Young playing against this Bucs defense, who are allowing the second most fantasy points per game, two quarterbacks, it's obvious that you need to have them in the big dance to cash in big points, because the Carolina Reaper is going to be bringing home a championship for a lot of fantasy managers. Now, quickly, let's jump into the sleepers, because there's a lot of guys out there on your bench that you're probably having some questions about. Travis Etienne is one of them, but honestly, the only reason why I'll be sliding him into my flex in the big dance, the big championship game that means the most to me, is because I need a running back that's going to be efficient. I can't trust Rico Dow. This is something personal that's happening with me. I can't trust Rico against the Eagles, so therefore I'm pivoting to Travis Etienne against the Titans, who are bottom of the table against the run. In the last couple of games, Tank Bigsby has not been great. He has not been efficient. Etienne has a higher yards per carry and more effective in the passing game as well, where he's seeing, if not all, the route participation. He's seeing all the targets as well. So PPR upside is there for him. And Travis Etienne, I know it's been real nasty for him, but you can't trust Tank Bigsby. The last two games, back-to-back games, he has fumbled the ball. So I'm not quite sure if he can get out of his own way, but Travis Etienne looks like he's serviceable. Low floor, honestly, in the 10 to 12, 13-point range. But honestly, with this matchup against the Titans, I honestly see a higher ceiling here where he could surprise some folks and become a fantasy championship hero. Next up, this sounds weird to say in 2024, but Amir Dauman, man, is a sleeper this week, and honestly, he might be a league winner. If we've seen back-to-back games, 19 fantasy points. He goes against the Saints this week, where we know they're god-awful against running backs. The fourth most fantasy points per game to running backs this season. Amir Dauman is getting it done on the ground and finding the end zone and finding it through the air. So therefore, with him getting this red zone opportunity and him being way more explosive than Alexander Madison, it's kind of obvious here that I need to have him in some capacity in my starting lineups if he's going to be hitting these high ceilings with nobody else is watching. So I'm going to be that guy this week to put him in the starting lineups as a flex option who can have some really high ceilings this week against that Saints defense. Another sleeper for you, Chig Okonkwo against the Jaguars. And listen, honestly, this guy's been slept on for a very long time. I'm happy to see on the back end of the season, he's starting to blow up, basically blossom into the tight end that we like. In the last couple of games, he's leading all tight ends. Before these Christmas games that just passed, he was leading all tight ends in receptions. So therefore, with Mason Rudolph at the quarterback position, Chig is going to be running all those underneaths. He's not really going to be running those deep routes. He has some yak to him as well, but Mason Rudolph has been looking for him as the security blanket. So I like that. With Mason Rudolph being the starter this week, going against that Jags defense, there could be opportunity for him to go up there and put up some big points, because we've seen the Jaguars struggle this season against the tight end position. So there's opportunity for him to show up and show out in the big dance for a lot of fantasy managers. Now to get into my streamer defense for the week. I say defense, DST. It's my Los Angeles Rams. Honestly, against the Cardinals, this may scare a few folks. You don't want to put your championship on the line with the Rams DST, but I'm telling you now, there could be some high upside. If you're one of those teams out there that are just left with the Rams, or they're the only ones available with some type of upside on the waiver wire, they are a great play this week against Kyler Murray, who has been struggling. He has more interceptions than touchdowns in the last couple of games. You're looking at this Rams defense, how they've been able to get pressure towards the quarterback. I think they'll be able to finish against Kyler Murray, because he's always had his number on the back of the grass when you had Aaron Donald there. And I see no different with this defensive line as a collective to get after Kyler Murray, because he's been one of the most pressure quarterbacks in the last couple of weeks. So this O-line hasn't been doing a great job protecting him. And I think this is a defense that's going to be able to take the ball away from Kyler Murray, because that's been happening a lot lately. So therefore, the Rams DST could be a sneaky start this week to bring home the gold for your boy and for many fantasy managers. So this wraps up another great episode of RotoBaller Fantasy Sports YouTube channel. Please make sure you guys like and subscribe. Leave a comment below on your start and sit questions, and I'll try to answer them all the way up until game time. And listen, you guys can follow me at Real Deal Fantasy on all social media platforms. Until next time.